Well, good evening. And I was reminded recently it's quite a while since I've given a little bit of an update. So I'm a man of my word, and I committed after our management meeting that was held last Thursday that I'd give a little bit of an update on the topics that we discussed. So we don't get together as a management team very often. It's only quarterly, sometimes every 2 months, that we get together as a team and review what we're doing from an operational perspective and also from a strategy perspective. And last Thursday we got the team together. These are they're not boardroom type meetings. There's limited agendas, no presentation, no PowerPoint, often no table in front of us, and we sit round and we talk about what's been going on, what have we learned, how can we feed back that learning into the organisation. So on Thursday we were looking at after 18 months of our Grow to One activities, where were we on our journey? And I think in summary we would say that there has a lot of progress has been made within the organisation, and there are lots of experiments ongoing, and we took the time to speak with the key theme owners, so Terry, Jerry and Caroline, to talk around the different parts of the business that they've been getting engaged with and what they've seen, and actually that was really positive, a positive conversation. I think from my perspective, we made a commitment when we started Grow to One that if we were going to change our culture, if we were going to drive something different, that we needed full-time resources. And I think that's been one of the successes of our programme so far, that we actually committed as an organisation to have 3 people focusing on key of our 3 themes. And I think that's the value of that is now apparent in the number of experiments that are going on of different scales within the whole organisation. I mean, the big one that we've also invested in at the senior level is the sprint on storage. So a potentially big market for us that we've stalled a little bit on in the business, and we've said, listen, if we're going to do this and we're serious about it, we need to invest a little bit of time and some skills and get people in a room and work on it. Now that hasn't gone perfectly, and again we've learned some stuff from that, but actually it is starting to get some traction. And what I think the whole of the leadership team is impressed with is what can happen when you get the right people in a room, give them time, space and permission, and what they can develop and what they can come up with. And I think that's really beneficial, and really positive, and makes us think that, you know, it is absolutely the right way to take the business forward. I think we also looked at some of the things that could have gone better, and I think there were 2 things that we talked about. One was, did we really properly engage with middle management, and could we have done a better job of that? And I think the answer is we could have done a better job of that. And has that resulted in a big variation on people get involved and not? And I think that's something we've got to learn from. The other thing is that a change in culture and driving business in a slightly different manner doesn't take away the need to have a consequential element at the core of the business. So this isn't experiment for experiment's sake. This is experiments to get better and be more successful as a business, and where we're not driving success and we're not being going forward, that we have to change. There has to be a consequence for failure. Otherwise, you know, what's the point in this? What's important about the experiment is if there's a failure, that you learn from it. But the goal of experimentation is not to fail. The goal is to be successful, and sometimes we're disconnecting those things as though failure is the goal, and clearly it's not the goal. So some of you will also be aware that we touched on this in the meeting, that Siemens is going through itself a big change, with a rumoured organisational change expected between now and the year end, and of course that's a little bit a little bit destabilizing. People start talking about that. They concentrate internally rather than externally. I think there's two things we should think about that. One is, we've learned some skills over the last 18 months on how to drive change and the positive nature of change. And I think we should make sure that whatever change comes our way, that we use the skills that we've built as an organisation to embrace that change and deal with that change. And I think the second thing is, for me, change is an opportunity to sit back and think, well, what have we done really well and we'd like to repeat, and what have we not done so well, and actually we need to learn from that and do something different next time. And I think, so this potential organisational change is an opportunity to do more of the good, leave some of the stuff that we weren't so good at behind, and try different ways. I think finally, I'd say that in spite of all of that potential change, we're now rushing headlong into the year end. So we've only got really August and September, and we've got a target to deliver. I'm pleased to say, from an EM perspective, on our orders and revenue, we're looking okay. A really good success with Triton Knoll the other week, which was a big chunk of our order intake. There's some challenges on revenue. Profitability is a real problem because some of the major project charges that we've had. But on the other key indicators, some real positives. So let's keep focused on delivering that year-end figures, and don't allow the noise around the change distract us from that. And then let's look to embrace that change and see it as an opportunity to do more of what we've been doing, and do it even better.